about reactions with organic acids, okay? Because we just barely touched on it yesterday, so I wanted to do maybe an example or two. Would you guys like that?
Sure.
You're good? You don't care? You can just start reviewing. It's okay. All right. So, Chem 11E, reactions. Okay, here we go. There we are. All right. So on page 92, okay, on page 92, we have an example of an organic acid.
She was asking if we need to memorize all of them.
No, you do not need to know how to write the formulas for organic compounds. So you don't need to know heptane, you don't need to know ethanol, you don't need to know propanoic acid, you don't need to know any of them. What it will do is on the quiz, if there is such a thing, I will say propanoic acid bracket C blah, 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 H blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't have to know them.
Because I saw like in there it says, oh, enrich, you can't let that out.
Oh, that's because in my regular class, I want to give them something a little more challenging to do because we spend a lot longer doing this. And so then, sometimes you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm bored and I might want to learn how to do that. Okay. So let's say, for example, here we have acetic acid. And when you have one of these organic acids, the hydrogen is at the end and it is positive. So this is H plus. Yes? That means that everything else, the CH3COOH, is all a polyatomic ion. This is page 92. It's all a polyatomic ion, and because H is positive, it's going to be negative. So we have CH3, COO minus. My other compound has calcium, Ca2 plus, and it has hydroxide, OH minus. Now, here's the trick. You cannot combine outside ions and inside ions because they're not in the same places as normal. Yes? So what you're going to do is you're going to combine your positive from compound A with your negative from compound B. And that gives you H, and OH gives you HOH, or H2O if you prefer. And you're going to combine your positive from the second compound. Whoa, what just happened? I erased it by accident. Ca2 plus, excuse me. Is going to combine with the negative ion from the other compound. So we'll end up with Ca, CH3COO2. Okay, but other than that, other than the fact that the H plus is in a weird place, like it's at the end instead of at the beginning, it just works like any other double replacement or neutralization. Okay, and then at that point you would have to balance it. You would have to say, I have 2 acetate ions, so I need to have 2 acetate ions. That gives me 2 hydrogens, which means I also need 2 hydrogens. That gives me 2 hydroxides, and fortunately I have 2 hydroxides. Is good? We're going to do another example or two, okay? So let's say we had this question here. If this were the quiz, I would provide you with the formula. I would put it in brackets and write it up there. Okay, today I'm going to just show you how I would do it. LiOH obviously is lithium hydroxide. And that is a solution, so it is what state? Aqueous. You don't need to be able to do this, but I would look at this and I would say, bute, that means I have 4 carbons. I'm going to use 3 of them at the beginning of the formula. So I've got C3, okay? I'm going to take my number of carbons and I'm going to multiply by 2 and add 1. So that's going to be 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So I've got C3H9. And remember how I'm supposed to have 4 carbons? Now I'm going to put in 1 more, so that gives me 4 carbons, COOH. But you don't need to do that because you're going to have on the quiz, it's going to say C3H9COOH. And you're just like, oh, thank goodness that was there. I didn't have to remember all of that. And this is also a solution, so it is aqueous. You need to recognize that you have an acid and a base. Yeah? So you need to know this is neutralization. And we are going to combine our ions. So I'm going to write out my ions, Li plus, OH minus. And remember, we have H plus. Whatever isn't H plus is the anion. So all of this, C3, H9, COO minus, that's all the anion. Okay, so whenever you have an organic acid, just take off the hydrogen and that leaves you with the anion. Now I'm going to combine lithium with my negative ion over here. So I get, as my products, LiC3H9COO minus. Oh, except for I don't have a minus anymore because it's in a compound. Silly me. Plus, and then I'm going to take my H and put it together with my OH because I put positive with negative. And I look at that and I say, oh my gosh, it's already balanced. Isn't that lovely? Would we like one more example? Yes? Okay. One more example. Non-anoic acid. How many carbons in non-anoic acid? 9. Okay, so I'm going to say 9 minus 1 is 8, so I'm going to write C8. Remember, I'm going to have the COOH is going to be the last one, so I'm going to have 8 plus 1. I say 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17, so C8 H17, and then remember, then we have the COOH. Okay, that's our carboxylic acid. Is that a question? Yes.
Yeah,
Huh?
C3H9.
Oh, because I'm a dummy. Yes, that should be 3 times 2 plus 1 is 7. Thank you. Not that it actually makes that much of a difference to our balancing or anything, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you very much. And we have aluminum hydroxide. Remember, Al is 3 plus, hydroxide is negative 1. So we're going to have AlOH3. Because it says molar, and molar, what does that tell me about the states? Aqueous. So in our non-anoic acid, who is the cation? Tell your partner, who is the cation in non-anoic acid? Who's the positive ion? H. Who's the anion? All that other nonsense, yes? Yeah, all the stuff. Non-nanoate is how you would say it. Non-anoic acid becomes non-nanoate, but you don't need to know that. So at any rate, it's all the C8H17COO minus. Okay, that's good. And in aluminum hydroxide, we have Al3 plus, we have OH minus, and now who will we combine? Tell your partner, who are we going to combine? Positive goes with negative, and positive goes with negative. So these two guys are going to get together, H and OH. And this guy and this guy are going to get together. And we always write our positive ion first in the compound. So it's going to be Al, and I need 3 CH817 COOs. And to balance it, I need to have 3 of the non-nanoate ions, 3. That means I need 3 hydrogens. So I'll put a 3 here. That gives me 3 hydrogens. And that also gives me 3 hydroxides. And fortunately, oh, look, I have 3 hydroxides. Isn't that wonderful? Yes? Okay. So, page 93, there's some practice on that stuff in particular if you're like, I need a little practice with those organic acids. Pages 94 to 99 are like all mixed together. But I also have a little review packet if you are interested. It reviews all the types of the reactions, and then it goes through, it's got a little summary table to show you how to recognize them. So if you're like, I don't know how to recognize combustion, you can look there or you can ask me. And then there's a bunch of recognize the type of reaction and balance. That's going to be part 1 of your quiz, recognize and balance. And then there's, oh, they've got some word equations here. I don't have that on mine. I go straight to predict the products and balance. Okay? But there's a lot of extra questions in here because I figured better more than not enough. Okay? Always kind of my motto. That's why I have like 7 pairs of glasses around my house. And sometimes I can't even find one of them. So, there we are. Worksheet, answer key, help yourself. I'll turn this off so you don't get blinded.
Sally, can you pass me one? Yes. Oh my God, you said it's such a sweet scent.
Yeah, because it's hot, right?
Sorry,
towards it now. So I don't think that's yeah. 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 I read it first came out before it was a TV show.
Okay, so she said last day. I swear I wrote it down. I swear I wrote it down.
Yeah. And then you imagine it that's like,
literally wrote it down.
Don't get a crap at any characters. That's all I can say.
I swear I wrote it down.
No.
Okay.
False dissociation is not on your quiz. We're going to leave that for our solutions.
I wrote it down.
Okay.
I wrote it down.
I was thinking, I was like, I remember there's a copyright is different.
Where did I write it?
Yes. Did you get the answer key?
It's okay.
You know what's on it?
I know.
Everything that's this is on it.
Okay, I got you.
But she said none of the words.
Okay, awesome. That's what we said.
Wait, Miss Spence, do you know specifically like 6.3 what letter to what letter?
Everything.
Just not.
Just not this. Just not dissociation. But you need to recognize acids and bases, right? Because
These are on the test.
Yep.
So it's just balancing.
It's just predicting products and balancing. So there's some where it's like recognize the reaction, tell me what type it is,
Like
and balance it.
synthesis.
Yeah. So there will be some questions that look like this. And then there'll be other questions that look like this.
Right, but we're writing that in like.
And you would write the states, and you'll write it in like formula form.
Yeah, not words.
Not words, no. I'll give you the words for these,
Yeah, but
but
we're writing.
you'll write the formula.
So that's it.
There's like 6 of one kind, and then.
Just like kind of like.
Let me just double check to make sure I'm not lying to you, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think it's 6 and 9.
Just predicting and balancing.
Predicting and balancing, yes.
And
And no, and telling me the type.
And
Yeah.
reaction and no reaction.
Yeah, and reaction and no reaction, yes.
So everything here.
So everything,
Not
yes.
shoot.
Okay, let's see, where is it?
How much to wash here?
Yeah. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's it.
Miss Smith, how much to wash here?
Yeah. Hmm?
I feel pretty confident with chemistry.
It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. I won't be able to help you with physics, but. Well, maybe. But what physics is it, though?
It's still fair enough. It's just kinematics.
Okay. I might be able to help you with kinematics, maybe, but.
I just want to use my whole brain power.
I'm just better, you know what I'm good at? I'm good at reading questions and figuring out what they're asking.
Me too. No, I'm just confused at this point.
Okay. Are there vectors involved?
I think this one I did a multiple times. I think I did it 3 times. And all 3 times I edited it not.
No, I can do it.
Oh, good.
Yes, have blank papers, help you show. Yeah. No, you do not need to write one. And in fact, if you're doing one that doesn't have like a little blank there, put one in, then I'll be back. Okay, but if there's a little blank there and you want to write one, just have something in there, that's fine, but it's.
Thank you.